But here is the 10-year truth. In 2026, the national agencies have stopped looking for the presence and started looking for depth. Welcome back to the Alfa Edge podcast. In our first episodes, we looked at the funding galaxy, the macroeconomic and the political forces that drive the Erasmus Plus budget. But today, we're going from the where to how. We are driving into what I call the soul of the program. If you have opened a grant application in the last 4 years, you have seen them. The 4 horizontal priorities: inclusion, digitalization, green, and participation. For most project managers, these are the annoying boxes at the end of the application, or at the beginning of the application actually. They are the paragraphs that you copy-paste from ChatGPT prompts or previous projects just to get form submitted. But here is the 10-year truth. In 2026, the national agencies have stopped looking for the presence and started looking for depth. Yes, as we have the midterm of this 7-year cycle, the grace period of being a beginner is over. The Commission is now auditing the quality of the implementation. If you say your project is inclusive, but you cannot show the methodology behind it, your final report score will plummet, and your accreditation funding for the next year maybe will be at risk. Today, we are going to deconstruct these 4 pillars. We're not going to talk about them as goals. We are going to be talking about them as competitive advantages. I'm going to show you how Alfa Edge integrates these into our own staff training, the learner's mobility, and how you can use them to turn standard projects into a masterpiece of European cooperation. Let's break them down one by one. So, let's start with the big one: inclusion and diversity. In 2014-2020 cycle, inclusion was often a bonus. In 2026, it's the foundation. But what does that actually mean? Adult education sector as an example. Most PM thinks that inclusion means people with disabilities. While that's part of it, the Erasmus Plus definition of people with fewer opportunities is much broader. We're talking about economic obstacles, social obstacles, geographical remoteness, and cultural differences. Actually, there are 8 different aspects. The 10-year perspectives: 10 years ago, we just wanted people to travel. Today, we want the right people to travel. If your mobility groups only consists of your most active English-speaking high-income staff members, you are failing the inclusion priority. In 2026, the national agencies are looking for reach. They want to see how you are reaching the invisible learners, the single mother who hasn't had a training opportunity in a decade, or a rural adult learner who lives 100 kilometers from the nearest city center, the migrant who is struggling with the linguistic integration. In Alfa Edge, when we host mobilities, we don't just accept participants. We help send an organization build an inclusion strategy. Do you know about the inclusion support for organizations, the extra 125 for participants? Most organizations just absorb that into their general budgets. That's a mistake. That money is there for a reason: to pay for the extra work it takes to support a vulnerable learner, and it is for the extra preparatory meeting, the mental health support, and the tailored pedagogical materials. If you want to be a giant in the field, you need to show your national agency that you aren't just including people, you are removing barriers. At Alfa Edge, our courses are designed with the Universal Design for Learning (UDL). We ensure that the content is accessible regardless of the learner's starting point. That is the level of professional inclusion that wins 95 plus scores on that report. The digital transition from using tools to digital sovereignty. Next, we have the digital transition. For years, PMs thought that digital meant we have a website or we used Zoom for a meeting. In 2026, this is the bare minimum. We have moved into the era of digital education action plan 2021-2027. The Commission isn't looking for the digital consumption, they are looking for digital readiness, especially in education sector. We are fighting a war against the digital divide. The insider reality, we are currently seeing the AI explosion in the project management, but being digital in Erasmus Plus 2026 means two things. First one is digital pedagogy. How are you using blended mobility? Are you using the virtual components to prepare your learners, or it's just a boring 1-hour webinar? Number two, digital sovereignty. This is the big 26 keyword. It's about teaching people how to own their data, how to navigate AI ethically, and how to avoid being manipulated by algorithms. The Alfa Edge. We have moved beyond the ICT skill courses. Our starting point now is focusing on AI-empowered management. We show you how to use AI to track your Erasmus plan objectives and how to use digital credentials like the Europass digital credentials to give your learners a portable blockchain verified record of their skills. If you aren't using digital tools to track the impact of your mobility, you are still living in 2024. If you want to close deals with high-level partners, you need to show them that your organization is digital by default. This isn't about replacing the human element, by the way. It's about using technology to make the human element more efficient. When you come to an Alfa Edu course, you aren't just getting a PDF or a PowerPoint, you are entering a digital ecosystem that mirrors the future of the European education. Pillar number 3, environmental sustainability. Beyond no plastic bottles. Pillar number 3, which is environmental sustainability and responsibility, or as most people call it, Green Erasmus. In 2021, green meant you got a small top-up if you took a train. In 2026, green is about institutional transformation. The European Green Deal is the overarching policy of the MFF we discussed in episode 1. The 10-year lesson? Well, I remember when sustainability in a project meant we didn't print the agenda, we just used a card cup. Today, that's laughable. Green Erasmus in 2026 is about curriculum greening, and it's not greenwashing. If you are sending staff to a training course on leadership, how does that course address sustainable leadership? If you are doing a project on the language learning, how do you integrate climate literacy into the vocab? The national agencies are now looking for the carbon footprints of the project. They want to see that you choose a training provider who actually lives these values. The Alpha audit of the values? Well, we made a massive strategic decision at Alfa Edge 2 years ago. We decided the green wasn't just for the participants. It was for us as hosts. We moved our operations to zero waste philosophy. We prioritized local sustainable vendors for all our mobility logistics. Why? Because when a national agency officer asks a PM, how was the green priority implemented during the mobility? Our partner can point to the Alfa Edu Green Charter. This is how you protect your accreditation. You don't just talk green, you choose partners who act green. It's about the multiplier effect. When your staff sees a sustainable training environment in the action at Alfa Edu, they bring those practices back to your home organization. That is a real impact. Pillar number 4, participation in a democratic life, the democracy shield. Finally, the 4th pillar, and perhaps the most misunderstood, participation in the democratic life. Many PMs think this is only for youth projects. They think, I work with adult learners, we don't do politics. This is a dangerous misconception. In 2026, participation in the EU's primary defense mechanism. As I mentioned in the last episode, we are living under the democracy shield. The EU is facing external threats, misinformation, and a lack of trust in institutions. Education is the silver bullet to solve this. The strategic logic? Well, participation isn't just about voting the European elections, it's about active citizenship. It's about teaching a person how to engage with their local municipality. It's about civic competences. The Alpha perspective, well, in our 10 years, we have seen that the most successful projects are those that empower the learners have a voice. We host a mobility. We include civic engagement modules. We don't just teach the what, we also teach the how to advocate for your community, how to participate in the European consultations. If you are writing a Key Action 1 project, ask yourself, how does this mobility make my staff better European citizens? If you can answer these questions, congratulations, you have won the national agency's heart. At Alfa Edge, we help you articulate that. We show you how to link professional development with democratic engagement. This is the master level of Erasmus Plus management. It moves you from being a service provider to being a pillar of European society. Now it's time for the Alpha audit. The mistake: you have implemented all 4 priorities, but you have kept them in these silos. You have a green activity, a digital activity, and an inclusion participants. The audit 2026 quality standards requires intersectionality. The national agency wants to see how these priorities work together. For example, how are you using digital tools to increase inclusion for rural or green or geographical learners to participate in democratic life? The Alpha solution, this is exactly what we do. Our courses aren't just topic A or topic B. They are an integrated experience. When you send your staff to Alfa Edu, they experience an inclusive, digital-first, green-certified environment that focuses on active participation. We give you a course with a consolidated impact that proves you have met all the 4 priorities. Don't settle for checkbox training. Choose the soul of the program. Next week, we are moving from what to who. It's going to be episode 3, the sector identity crisis. We're going to help you decide once and for all if you are adult education, vet, or school, and how the choice will determine your funding for the next 5 years. Check out our new resilience and participation course tracks at alfaedu.it. This is Marwan Zaher, and you are listening to me at Alfa Edu Podcast. Stay strategic, stay deep, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.